So bombshell revelations came out on Friday evening.
The Clinton campaign paid a tech firm to, quote, mine internet data to establish an inference, a narrative, tying then candidate Trump to Russia. In Durham's words, this included, quote, non-public and or proprietary internet data. What does mining non-public and proprietary data mean? It means hacking.
This is just the beginning of what we're finding out on the Sussmann matter, and it doesn't get better with age here. That's the problem.
It provided DNS resolution services to the Executive Office of the President. Tech Executive 1 and his associates exploited this arrangement by mining the Executive Office of the President. I just want you to understand who we're talking about. We're talking about mining the server within the server of the White House. So not just the White House, the president's server. And the only reason they did this was for the purpose, this is a direct quote, of gathering derogatory information about Donald Trump.
Remember back in 2017, when President Trump said they were spying on me in the press and all the Democrats said no, they weren't. And then in 2019, then Attorney General Bill Barr said spying took place at the FBI on President Trump's campaign, and everyone said no, no, no. Well, now we know for sure.
In essence, what we have, in my opinion, is collusion.
Just how widespread, how many agencies, how many political parties, how many political operatives are implicated here.
Why was the federal government not defensively briefing President Trump and his team and the campaign as to this domestic spying operation that was being conducted by the Clinton campaign? And the reason is, it appears that they were complicit.
This allegation about the surveillance going on as to the candidate Trump and then President Trump. I mean, it was in February that they went back. This is very serious. They were spying on the White House.
John Durham filing claims on Friday that the Clinton campaign paid to infiltrate Donald Trump's servers while he was president and when he was a candidate, trying to find ties linking him to Russia. The new revelations contradict years of media reporting, but still media outlets aren't covering it.
Yesterday we were really getting into everything. Unlike Joe Scarborough, we were explaining it to you. We weren't just saying, I can't understand this, and just throwing it aside and attacking Republicans, and now attacking John Durham.
It is so confounding and so hard to follow. I remember when the initial story came out and I read through it and I was like, what? And everybody did. That's why nobody paid attention to it the first time, because it was so convoluted.
This is not so hard to explain, Joe Scarborough. Tech Executive 1 and his associates exploited this arrangement by mining the EOP's DNS traffic and other data for the purposes of gathering derogatory information about Donald Trump.
This is a legitimate story, regardless of how you feel about Donald Trump, like you said, or even Hillary Clinton. This is one of these stories where it's a complete blackout, and then all of these networks and outlets are wondering why people go to Joe Rogan to hear stuff like this.
I read it this morning and had no problem understanding what is in it. And you ask about a reaction from Washington, D.C., they understand this too, Jay. They just don't like what's in it. And I will predict for you, Adam Schiff and others, here's the strategy they're going to take. Because they want to distract from the narrative here, they're going to start attacking John Durham. You watch, yes. Jay. That's going to happen today. They are going to start attacking John Durham because they don't want to talk about the substance that's in this motion.
We have a lot of reporters who earned Pulitzer Prizes. We have a lot of papers who sold a lot of product. We have CNN with their fake news ratings. They do not want to come back and admit that years and years of their unhinged efforts were all made up.
When they start arguing, this is confusing, it's gobbledygook, there's nothing here, these are old conspiracy theories, what they're really doing is hiding the reality that things are about to get intense.
San Francisco voters have officially decided to overwhelmingly support removing board president Gabriela Lopez along with Allison Collins and Faula Maliga from the city's school board.
Even in San Francisco, the parents said, you don't care about our kids. You're not thinking about your number one client here, the families, the children who have to be prepared, have to learn how to read and write.
The question voters had to answer was whether to recall 3 school board members of the San Francisco School Board, after proponents say the board failed students during the pandemic by focusing on the idea of renaming schools instead of planning to bring students back to class.
The board argued also about and changed abruptly their admissions rules to specific high schools, switching to a lottery system instead of merit-based.
District officials were working hard to change the names of 44 supposedly problematically named schools like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Dianne Feinstein. She got in trouble too. They tried to rename a school that was named for her.
What we are seeing from the left is an attack on merit in favor of so-called social justice. This attack not only victimizes blacks, but Asian American students and indeed all students.
Liberal editorial boards endorsed the recall. The mayor, who appointed one of the three, she endorsed the recall. That's never a good sign.
This isn't even really a right or left issue, because I'll tell you, the parents that voted in this recall election and supported the recall, they're probably going to support a curriculum that looks different than the one that I would choose, right? But what we said in our school choice initiative is that's okay. In fact, that's good, because parents should be in charge.
These parents said, you're spending way too much time on renaming schools, on social justice, and not enough time on teaching my kid how to read and write and do math and science.
Do you approve of President Biden's job performance? Well, look at how bad these numbers are for the president. Only 4 in 10 Americans, 41% at the moment, approve of his job performance. Nearly 6 in 10, 58% disapprove. That's a tough number early in a midterm election year for the president of the United States.
President Biden has a 58% disapproval rating.
Disapproval rating.
Disapproval.
Remember that. You don't really hear that usually. You usually hear approval rating.
Yeah.
This is a disapproval rating.
We asked people, what has President Biden done for you that you approve of? 56% of Americans, nearly 6 in 10 Americans, that means a decent amount of Democrats said nothing. They disapprove of everything that has happened.
No one is happy. So even the far left isn't happy. The moderate Democrats certainly are not happy. And then obviously you have the rest of the conservative world, of course, not happy. But I don't know anyone who's walking around singing the praises of President Biden.
Look what they've done to this country. Our country is struggling. Americans are worse off than they were just a year ago. With inflation, with rising gas prices, with an open border, with a drug crisis, with what we're seeing with Russia. I mean, on every single level, Biden's been a failure, and the American people absolutely are looking for a change in leadership.
There's terrific slippage inside his own party, 9% inside his own party. That might sound like a small number. Inside your own party, Jordan, that's a very big number. And the other thing is intensity here. There are 41% who strongly disapprove, while there's only 15 who strongly approve.
In March, 67% of Democrats did. In his own party, that is down to 44%. Independents, those who have confidence in his ability on the economy, has dropped from 20 to 10. Republicans were never on board, but this number right here, this in a midterm election year, when your own party is starting to have doubts about issue number one, that's a warning sign.
If I'm in a purple district and I'm a Democrat in the House or the Senate right now, Jordan, I look at this poll and I got to tell you, I'm panicked a little.